Yeah, well then, hi, my name is Benedict. I'm from Ulm in Germany, and I was working for roughly now it's 11 years in the marketing with a marketing background. Started out as a journalist, learned online marketing that way, especially social media, and then got blown out into the work space, and realized at some point that the time's changing, and that you can't just do what you did back 10 years ago. And especially in my last job, I realized that I need to learn coding, that I need to have the skills to develop web pages, to analyze web pages, not only with Google, but also with internal tools. And yeah, that's mostly why I decided to do, first of all, the web development bootcamp. And then currently I'm doing the data scientist bootcamp because I could decide between both. Data scientist was the more well, not fun. It's not only fun, but the more interesting bootcamp for me. But the data science the web dev bootcamp was so necessary for my understanding and for my background that I said I have to do the web dev first. Learn how to code, learn how to manage websites, how to build on websites, and how to set up all the data streams, and then get it with the data scientist. What worried me the most is maths. I'm I'm not a big maths guy. I wasn't a very good pupil in school. I wasn't very attentive. To be honest, I wasn't the most I wasn't the best. How could I say that? It's hard in English to say that. But I wasn't the most active student when I was below 25. You know, you grow up a bit in your lifetime, and you realize something. But maths wasn't mine, really not. And that was something I really feared about the data science bootcamp. And the web dev bootcamp was oof, I'm not sure where to even start about that, because programming is something that I have never done before. I did a bit of CSS, basically play around with colors and sizes, and that's it, and build some web pages with graphical tools like Elementor, as example, or build something with uh, pre programmed themes for different web pages on several CMS tools. And yeah, but programming I did never do programming, especially not full stack. So back end was a whole concern for me because it was something completely new. Also the time, of course, it's just a 3.5 months boot camp, and there is a lot to learn. Um, yeah, but the first boot camp took that stress a bit away from me for the second boot camp, because I realized I don't have to know everything. I don't have to perfectly understand everything and perfectly uh, create everything. I don't have to be perfect at all. I can just learn it in progress. Also, there is much help for you to get. So um, yeah, the first boot camp helped me a lot with struggles for the second boot camp. Yeah, the happiest. Yeah, that okay. The best. I think that's three moments. It is the best moment. It's the happiest moment, and it's the worst or difficultiest moment. So the happiest moment I felt after the primer. Um, I did that on my own. and then started the boot camp. We had CSS, we had HTML, and I realized I'm not that behind. I was behind because there were programmers in there. There were really good, knowledgeable people in there that I studied with, and I feared that I will be behind like hell. And it was okay. It was okay. So in the first 2 weeks, I realized I can do that, and that was a very happy moment. And it got downhill from that fast. Not in a bad way, not in a bad way, but it got harder. And so that was the happiest moment. The best moment was, I think, in week 4 or 5, something like that. I had a very bad week before that where I struggled heavily with a topic. It was first week of backend, and backend is something for me that's not enjoyable, really not that much. I'm more of a front end guy, and I really struggled that week. But next week it made click on Thursday or something, or Wednesday, Thursday or Wednesday, something like that. It made click and everything went smooth, and I could deliver my group project and participate more in the group, and that was just a great moment. That was just a great moment. And the worst moment was in our final project. The last 3 days we had problems in the group. Everybody was like for real on their limits, and yeah, it was really a difficult time just to push that last 3 days working from noon to bedtime to get something delivered there, and which was good in the end. And in the end, everything went fine, and we delivered something I think we can be proud of. But the last 3 days were that was really hard. That was really hard. It didn't change me that much, not personally, not me myself, because like I said, I have already 11-12 years experience before that, and I had my struggles. I had my if one of my mentors said, if you can survive a in German it's Volontariat, it's the way to getting a real and professional journalist. If you can't survive those 2 years, you can survive anything. And so it didn't change me much in that way, but it changed the way I think about web pages, about my profession as a marketing professional. And it helps me in many ways I didn't even think about, because now I can't say I'm an expert in programming, most definitely not. I'm just at the beginning of my way, but there are many things I can do now. The first thing I did after the bootcamp was selling a website to a customer. So I earned basically the money back. I didn't have to pay for it because the Agentur für Arbeit paid it. But if I had paid, I had my money back already. So that was nice. That gave me a big, not motivational. I mean, like an ego push. Realizing, yeah, confidence boost. Thank you. Like realizing I can do that, and it helps me not only with my profession, but also with my life, with self-employment. If I want to, it gives me a second safety net, and also it changed the way I approach a future employment, because now I bring much more to the table. And if we talk about online marketing, which, like I said, is my profession, I can basically tell my future employers, you don't have to pay like $80,000 or euros for an agency or for a programmer. I can do that. I can solve 80 to 90% of your problems you have, And if we run into something, I can tell you, okay, it takes that long to solve that. So you never get undercut, or you never get a bad deal on something. Because if you work in that industry and you worked with agencies before, you know if they have to change a color, they will charge you 2 days. And if you know that takes 2 minutes, you don't even have to do that on your own. But you know, okay, guys, you didn't work there 8 hours. We both know that's not the case. Put that a bit down. Um, yeah. So it gives me more knowledge. It gives me more confidence in what I'm doing, and yeah, makes me just a better employee, basically. That is a hard question. So what I would say to myself before the boot camp, I would say start to prioritize earlier. Don't don't try to perfect everything, but more get a big grasp of all the topics, and then pick your poison and go in depth for what you really want, what you really need, and don't try to perfect anything, because that way you will perfect one thing and don't even get a grasp of like 6 or 7 other things. So basically, in short, um, get an overview of everything you have to learn, and then pick 2, 3 things you really like, and perfect them.